Liverpool won, Luton won. A game where Gravenberch shined. Diaz got a good goal, especially after what he's gone through. And Virgil van Dijk looked pretty solid at the back for Liverpool. But other than that, it was very poor from Liverpool, particularly the front three. Nunez will get most of the attention with that sitter. But Salah wasn't brilliant. Jota wasn't brilliant. And with all the chances Liverpool had, the fact that they only got one goal from that, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be very fuming, especially with Arsenal dropping points. There's an opportunity there to close up the gap on Man City away at Luton. You've got to be getting 3 points. But Luton, they took a point. My boy Tahith Chong, Manchester United born and bred, thank you very much, because you know what? It's been a good weekend for me. I feel like every weekend has been horrible. Man U lose, Liverpool win. Man U lose, Liverpool win. Arsenal don't win, Liverpool don't win. Man United win. But we're not here to talk about Man United on this channel as much as I'd like to be a massive troll and try and wind up Liverpool fans. We're actually going to talk about the game from like a general analysis point. I do want to talk about Gravenberch. I think he was good. I thought Harvey Elliott looked okay. But we've got to talk about Alexis Mac-Allister. You've got to talk about Darwin Nunez. You've got to talk about Liverpool in general. And there's a lot of talk about VAR. I haven't really had a good look at the VAR call, so I'm not going to be one to massively comment on if it was a penalty or not, if Chong's goal should have stood or not. But I think at the end of the day, were Liverpool good enough? Probably not. Did Liverpool have enough chances to win the game? Yeah. Liverpool had a higher XG when they scored 1 goal versus Luton than when they put, unfortunately, 7 past Man United. You know, the chances Liverpool had were absolutely crazy. And the fact that Darwin Nunez didn't put one of them in the back of the net absolutely shocks me. But it wasn't just Darwin Nunez. In general, there was other people that should have put chances away. And I'll get the statistic up here. And this is what I find absolutely mad, is they had an XG, and I'm going to share my screen with you here, of 3.51. Like 3.51. And to get 1 goal from that, you have to point fingers at the attack. Generally, from a completely neutral standpoint, if that is your XG and you don't win the game, the fingers have to be pointed at the attack. And Darwin Nunez with the biggest miss sitter ever. But you've got to look at Salah. You've got to look at Jota. Did they do enough? No. I looked at Luton, and I have to say, credit where credit is due. Luton looked quite impressive. I thought Luton looked a lot better. And I think Luton aren't as bad as people make out. They're not as bad as Sheffield United. They're not as bad as Burnley. And unfortunately, Luton are going to have a big confidence boost when they go and play Man United next week. But I looked at Luton and I thought, they look all right. You know, they look decent, and they made it really hard for Liverpool. Now, the one thing I will say that we need to talk about is the Luton fans were a disgrace. The Luton fans were a disgrace. It doesn't matter who you support. I've grown up thinking Liverpool is the worst football club in the world. I'm a Man United fan. I've grown up thinking Liverpool is the worst football club in the world. I can't stand Liverpool. But anyone that makes jokes about Hillsborough, anyone that makes jokes about other people dying, you know, grown adults in the Luton Stadium making jokes about that I have to admit, that why? I don't get why people do that. I don't. You are 1-0 up, Luton. You are grown adults, most of you, and you're making chants about deaths of Liverpool fans. That is disgusting. And it really annoys me when people make jokes about the Bayern Munich tragedy at United, Hillsborough with Liverpool. You know, death isn't something to be joked about. The horrible thing that happened at Sunderland with Bradley as well. You know, I don't know why they do that. I really don't. You know, it's not funny. It's not trolling. It's not banter. I love to give out a bit of football banter to Liverpool and Arsenal here and there. I love to take a dig at Liverpool and Arsenal. But there's a line when it comes to banter. And I have to say that needs to be spoke about, because I think Luton did fantastic, but I think their fans ruined it for them today. I think they did. And I think Luton gave Liverpool a really good game. I think Liverpool needed to move the ball around a lot quicker. I think Liverpool, you know, missed a lot of chances. But we are going to talk more about this Liverpool game. So obviously I've got the ratings up on SofaScore. We'll also go through the statistics in just a second as well. But I'll be honest, Liverpool are playing against a relegation side who looked solid today, and they didn't win. So at the end of the day, this is a poor display from Liverpool. This is an embarrassing display from Liverpool. And if they want to be title contenders, they have to win that kind of match. If you want to challenge City, because City don't drop many points, and City are one of those teams that when they do drop points, it's always earlier in the season. Liverpool always leading City, and then City catch up later in the season. Arsenal leading City, City catch up later in the season. So you remember City, when they get their stride going, they never lose points later in the season. So if Liverpool want to be in a title challenge, they've got to win those kind of games, and they didn't. And there was a lack of urgency about Liverpool. The missing chances was probably the biggest thing for them. But also the way the decision-making was poor. They were trying to square a lot of the chances, trying to score this perfect goal, and it's just like, put the ball in the back of the net. Because Liverpool are capable. They've got 7 past bloody Man United. I still get reminded about it every day. But they were really, really poor, and Luton were good. And luckily for them, Diaz came on and saved them. And, I think Luis Diaz gets a 10 out of 10 performance purely because of the circumstances of everything that had gone on in his life. His father being kidnapped must be so horrible. And he comes on the pitch to save Liverpool from an embarrassing performance and bails them out like that. The only reason Liverpool haven't been completely humiliated is because of Luis Diaz, who shouldn't be anywhere near football at the moment. Because the Liverpool front three were dreadful today, and Diaz comes on. And while Gravenberch was probably the best player in the first half, Luis Diaz saved them a point. And I did think that Van Dijk was good as well. But, Liverpool, I think, struggling going to a small ground like Luton, struggling at that stadium. And, they should be winning that. They should be winning that. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Man United fan. I'm saying this because I watch football. Man United should have won a lot more games than they've won this season, but they weren't good enough. And Liverpool have looked fantastic this season. They've almost looked like they're back this season. For the most part, Liverpool have been brilliant this season, and I will give credit where credit is due to Liverpool. I'm giving credit to Gravenberch, I'm giving credit to Van Dijk, I'm giving credit to Diaz. But Liverpool, they weren't good enough today. And you could say, well, they had the most chances, and maybe they had enough chances to win the game, but they didn't put it in the back of the net. And, one of the people that needs to be spoken about is Mac-Allister. I don't think Szoboszlai had his best game, but I think Szoboszlai has been so good for Liverpool that he can have a benefit of the doubt bad game for Liverpool. And I don't think the balance of Gravenberch, Mac-Allister, Szoboszlai works just because Mac-Allister's not a 6. He's been asked to play as a 6. I think if Liverpool have a top number 6 and play Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch ahead, it will work better. Maybe Jones gives it a bit more balance as well, but Mac-Allister was really, really poor for Liverpool today. Really, really poor. He made 1 key pass. He did complete 4 out of 5 long balls, but this is where he's poor. 2 out of 7 ground duels won. 1 out of 3 aerial duels won. Possession lost 14 times. 0 interceptions, 1 tackle. Got dribbled past 3 times. Mac-Allister has looked poor for Liverpool. And I don't think it's that Mac-Allister's a bad player at all. I don't think Mac-Allister's a bad player at all. He's had some promising games for Liverpool, but he has been Liverpool's, out of the Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Mac-Allister trio, he's been the consistent underperformer. I think Szoboszlai was really poor today, and I've done videos about how good Szoboszlai was, but, Szoboszlai has been good for Liverpool. And I think a bit of it is because Mac-Allister is being played out of position, and I think this is where Liverpool missing out on signing that DM is costing them. Now, they have been linked to Andre, they have been linked to signing a DM in January, but I think ultimately, at the end of the day, what will cost Liverpool come end of the season and what Man City have that Liverpool don't have is Man City have Haaland that just puts the ball in the back of the net. And obviously, Man City will create more chances for Haaland, and they have Rodri. And I think Liverpool not having a number 6, in these kind of games where you need to really get that goal and get that control, I think that's where they struggled today. I think in general, the back 4 was fine for Liverpool. Should have done better for the goal. I think Van Dijk's been really solid. He's looking back to his best. I think Gravenberch was a big positive for Liverpool today, and we're going to talk about Gravenberch. We're going to get his game numbers up here. 52 touches, 91% pass accuracy, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created as well, 1 shot on target, 2 out of 4 dribbles completed. He progresses the ball forward. He was really good for Liverpool today, but not enough players showed up. Not enough players were good enough. And considering you're playing Luton in such a big game where you need points, they weren't good enough. And luckily for Liverpool, they've got Diaz, they've got Gakpo on the bench. So if their attackers are underperforming, they've got people to rotate with. Because I don't think Darwin Nunez is a bad player. Darwin Nunez came off the bench and scored 2 versus Newcastle. Darwin Nunez is a capable player. Darwin Nunez can do a lot, but what Darwin Nunez can't do is those chances where it's easier to score, he somehow misses. It's like a consistent thing with Nunez. And it's like, if Nunez could finish, he'd be one of the best strikers in the world because he's got a lot to his game. But that guy can't finish. And maybe you have to bench Nunez again and play Gakpo because Nunez's best performances have come off the bench where he gets that bit kick up the arse and he's run against tired legs. Maybe that's what he needs, because I think a little bit of this game was like watching Liverpool last season where they just weren't as good. I think that's what it was. Nunez, Salah and Jota were terrible versus the low block. It wasn't working against the low block, and maybe the midfield could have provided them more creativity, but I think the attack's at fault for that because they did have a very high XG. And I think Nunez will get most of the stick, but look, I think Salah's a fantastic player, but he was nowhere today. I think he was Salah and Jota were not good either. I think Nunez will get a lot of hate because he did miss the biggest chance. But if Liverpool want to end on a positive note, I think that Gravenberch is very good. I think Gravenberch as an 8 is a very good thing because his passing volume is brilliant. He's always passing the ball. He's very technically good. He's very good at progressing the ball, dribbling it. He's got the height. He's got the physicality. He doesn't get pushed off the ball. He's got the legs. He's got the intensity. He's press resistant. And I think if there's one positive for Liverpool to take today, I think it's Gravenberch. He's a player that is press resistant. He's a player that has got all the athletical traits to succeed in the Premier League. He's got the technical ability. He's got the intelligence. He can receive the ball. He can interchange between the lines and attack. He can attack spaces from deep. There's very little flaws in Gravenberch's game. Put a good 6 in there. Help Gravenberch out. But I think Liverpool, they've struck gold with Gravenberch. I think Van Dijk's getting back to his best. But they need to do better. Thank you to Chong for that. And look, I can't judge the AR decision because I really didn't get a good look of it. But you'll have to let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. Bye.